Anchor is a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, distributing, and monetizing your podcast. And best of all, it's 100% free. And it's 100% ridiculously easy to use. We find it really convenient for Night Moves Radio and our Cloverleaf Radio network. We record when it's best for us, and best of all, we can record on the go or at home. With this easy app, it makes doing our show so much fun and very easy. Anyone wanting to start a podcast? I suggest using Anchor. Perhaps it'd be a great starting point for you.
The night has come. A pale moon shines below, and the stars are twinkling lights. It must be time for Night Moves Radio. We'll be moving to the groovy music, getting lost in the words, and be entranced by timeless art. Good evening, and thank you for tuning in. We're glad that you've come to listen.
Welcome to another episode of Night Moves Radio. In this episode, we are talking to author Rachel Fountain. And I believe she writes a little bit of science fiction or fantasy.
Both.
But she writes both, and that's actually one of Josh's favorite genres.
Yeah.
She writes young adult and
she has one middle grade.
Middle grade.
book.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I'm looking forward to speaking with her, and I believe we have her on the line right now. Hello, Rachel.
Hello.
So welcome to our Night Moves Radio. We're glad that you got in touch with us, and you a little bit before we started the show, you actually heard about our show from Trevor. We interviewed him a few episodes ago, so that's kind of cool that they're spreading the word.
Absolutely.
It's very awesome. Before we start,
spreading the good word.
yes,
right?
that's great. Like, we like to try to meet new authors and meet new people as much as we can. I do want to make one comment before we get into the whole writing author talk. I noticed something different on your website that I've never seen on another author's website at all, and I kind of like it because I was in social work for 12 years, and I like messing with numbers.
Okay.
But on your website, you have a personal monthly budget tool and a household budget tool.
Correct.
That's awesome.
I try to focus on the business of writing as well, because I feel like as art, we focus on our craft a lot, but there's a lot that goes on in the background that people aren't necessarily aware of. And so you really have to have your finances in order to be able to manage book inventory and budget for marketing expenses. And so a lot of my blog posts focus on that financial aspect of business in writing.
That's cool, because most authors, at least the ones I've seen, sometimes they don't really focus in on that as much. Now, our friend Brian K. Morris maybe talks us a little bit about that, but a lot of people are more on the process of writing, or hey, check out this book, or developing storylines. But you actually have a budget tool, and what's cool is I created a budget tool. I was in the agency that I was with for about 12 years, so we were always talking budgets with our clients. So I was like, and I'm always trying to create a budget for myself, so I'm always looking for budget apps. So I guess I like numbers more than I thought I did. I did take some accounting in college, so I guess so it was kind of cool. So I downloaded yours so I could kind of look at them and play around with them.
Nice. Well, thank you.
Well, you're welcome.
My background, my 9-to-5 job, that I also do is in banking and finance. And
cool.
So when I was looking at all of these blog posts of all of these other authors, I noticed everybody does write about the process of writing. So what sets me apart from other bloggers is my background in finance and banking, and to be able to incorporate that, and maybe some fellow artists. It doesn't even have to be an author. It could be a painter or a musician. Just the, learning to keep profit and loss statements and to be able to generate reports to determine whether or not your business is profitable or not.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's really
So yes,
great.
I like numbers too.
Awesome. Yeah, so I just like, oh my gosh, she's so different from all the other websites. She has this, and I've never been to an author website that had it. So that was like the first thing I noticed right away.
Unique.
Yeah. And then I was reading a little bit of your blog, and I saw that you just got back from a trip to Ireland. I bet that was pretty awesome.
Yeah. Yes, it was. It was kind of one of those epic vacations that I have always wanted to take, one for the bucket list.
Oh, yeah.
So I can check that one off of my list, and now it's time to start planning for the next one.
I've always wanted to go to Ireland because my ancestors are from there. Well, actually, my ancestors were Vikings to begin with, and then they got converted, and by I either got converted or they interbred with the Irish.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, the history in Ireland is absolutely amazing. I mean, you can't throw a stone anywhere that you're not touching some part of history on that island. And the amount of information that we learned being there, it was just it was a educational experience like none other. So if you ever have the chance to go, I would highly recommend, planning a trip and going to Ireland. It's well worth it, and especially if you have ancestors that come from there or have ties there, you should definitely go check it out. It was an amazing trip.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's going to have to get me over my fear of flying first.
Well, it is. I think it's like it's an 8-hour trip. So
oh, good grief! Wow.
So
That's a long plane ride. Okay, so since I've been talking a lot, you want to start out with questions you have, Josh?
What was the first book you published?
The first book was book 1 of my Path of Ascension trilogy. It is Flames of Valor.
Mm-hmm. And what is this?
And it was published in 2016, July of 2016. So,
cool.
What is the story behind that? What is the storyline of that trilogy? The main story.
Well, the premise of that book, it's very much about it's a heroic pair, and the pair, they are complete opposite in the fact that one's a man, one's a woman. It's from a roguish background as a thief, and the other one comes from a noble background as a prince. And so it's kind of, the story is very much about opposites and learning to find the middle ground, including there's an aspect of magic to this book. And you have your light and dark forces. And the story is very much about finding that gray area in the middle, the happy balance between the two. So the fact that you need opposites in the world, you need good and evil, you need light and dark, but finding something in between as a medium, that is very much what that whole trilogy is about.
I see. And when did you first discover you that you had a passion for writing? What led you to that?
I always was a writer, even in early grade school. I can remember, I wish I could remember how old I was. I want to say, 12, 13 years old. I remember spending my entire summer just outside, enjoying the sunshine on the deck, writing a story. And at that age, it wasn't even, just a few pages story. I mean, I had like a 3-ring binder full of a story and just multiple pages. And so it's always been a passion. And I decided prior to 2016, I think it was 2 years prior to that, I finally said, you know what? I'm going to make this resolution. I'm going to say that I'm going to publish a book, and it might not get done this year, but I'm going to make a concerted effort to get from page 1 to page however long the book is to be completed, and I'm going to publish it. And so I stuck to my guns and was able to accomplish that. And from then on out, I mean, I guess once you rip that Band-Aid off, everything pours onto the page now.
Right.
Awesome. So I've been trying to look over your website. Did you publish independently or did you publish with a company?
I publish independently right now.
Okay, awesome. So do you publish through Amazon?
Yes, I use the Amazon platform.
Awesome. Yeah, we do too. I like Amazon's platform.
It's pretty simple to use, and it allows you to have enough creative control over your work that I really enjoy using that platform.
I do too. I think they've given a lot of authors opportunity to be able to publish their own books, except at the beginning, when I've talked about with some authors, I think at first there was kind of like a stigma for independent authors, like maybe we weren't serious enough or our work wasn't good enough. But I think now that self-publishing has gotten so much more popular, hopefully that stigma is starting to go away.
It still lingers around. I still meet it every once in a while that for whatever reason, some people think that because you're self-published, your work doesn't have as much merit as others. The fact of the matter is that platform has more freedoms than traditional published authors. A lot of times those authors that are traditionally published are forced to change aspects of their story. They don't have control over their cover art. Was it the true that author intended? I mean, I see so many books that are released later that this is the author's preferred text. So once that particular book made it big, then the publisher went back and said, okay, well, let's print your version of this book and see how well that goes over. So it's almost like you have to make it to be able to have a little more control about what goes in your book.
Sure. I'm not like a control freak, but when I want to write my own stuff, I kind of prefer self-publishing because I feel like if I were to go with a traditional publisher, they'd start telling me how to change all my stuff, and I'm kind of stubborn.
I'm kind of at a crossroads there in the fact that constructive criticisms, especially to somebody who knows the industry inside and out, could definitely be a benefit.
Oh, yeah.
But at some point, there are certain things that I don't want to change. And there is that fear that somebody will want me to change them. And, I might be forced to say no. So I'm a little like you, but yeah.
And then your covers are actually pretty cool. I know like Amazon has, some templates and stuff you can kind of follow, but you obviously have other artwork on your covers. Do you do that, or have you hired somebody, or?
I purchase right now. My cover art comes from iStock. They actually have some really good images out there that you can use.
Sure.
And then I use the Canva.
Oh yeah, me too. I love Canva.
To actually design the cover.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Canva's
So
cool.
yeah, I think that's one of my favorite parts of got covers picked out all the way through 2022.
That's cool.
On the
awesome.
website,
Very neat.
But it's a good marketing. Like, it's already out there, and it's very easy for people to see and say, "Ooh, look at this one. I want to read that one when it comes out."
Yeah, your covers look really good. As soon as once I found Canva, there was like no going back. I'm like, I'm not going to use anything else right now. I used to just use like editing, art software, but when I found Canva, I'm like, this makes so much better covers.
Oh, it's perfect and it's easy to use, and it's pretty amazing.
Yeah, it is. And since you are a self-published author, and we are actually self-published too, what kind of marketing advice would you offer to other independent authors so that they can kind of get their book out there?
Well, I've experienced a bunch of different kinds of marketing. I've kind of dabbled in the Amazon marketing system, the AMS.